everybody, welcome to Auto Shenanigans and welcome to another episode of all the Motorway service stations. It's August Bank Holiday Monday, it's approximately 9:20 and I am at Tebay services just on the M6. It's operated by Westmorland and is probably the most famous service station on the network. It recently featured in a Channel 4 documentary. I don't know where they got the idea from to make a service station documentary, but you're welcome, don't worry about it. The northbound side opened in 1972, but the southbound where we are followed a bit later in 1993. As with all Westmorland service stations, there's a fantastic farm shop, but it wasn't until 2003 that it was introduced here. Of course, no service station trip would be possible without Transport Manager. How are you this morning?
Wait. Well, it's still morning. We've been up very early today. I was out of bed at 4:05 this morning.
Worth it though, don't you think?
Sure.
Yes, hello there. Good morning once again indeed. That was Tebay Services. Today we've got 8 service stations to visit in total. Obviously 7 remaining now. Motorways today, we're going to be doing the M6, M61, M62 and the M65. Our next stop will be Killington Lake, which is sort of 14 miles down the road from here. So far we've visited 74 out of 95 service stations, so we're well on our way to completing our mission. So I hope you enjoy the episode. Come along with us on this epic journey of discovery. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. That would be much appreciated. But we're going to hit the road now and get on to our next stop, Killington Lake. We shall see you there.
Bye.
Every day when you're walking down the street and everybody that you meet.
We are at RoadChef, Killington Lake Services, just on the M6 southbound. It is a southbound only services, so if you are heading north, you'll either need to go up to the junction and turn around, or stop at the services northbound en route, which is 10 miles down the road from here. It takes its name from the Killington Reservoir, which you can probably see behind me. We'll show you some nice drone shots of that if we can. If we can't, then it'll be probably something else. It opened in 1972, and when the buildings were put in place and designed, they moved them as far away as they could from the motorways to take advantage of the views that this place has. There are a couple of viewing points just off the car park with a few picnic benches, etc. If you are stopping by, it's definitely worthwhile checking that out because the views really are stunning here.
Stop number 2 done. That is Killington Lake ticked off the list. I'm sure you'd agree that it looks very nice indeed. Actually, Tebay does as well. I think a lot of effort was put in when they made the service stations up in this part of the world to take advantage of the natural views and scenery, etc. So it does feature quite a lot at these service stations. We're on to our next stop, which is Burton in Kendal, still on the M6. A little bit frustratingly, this is a northbound only service station. We're actually heading south, so we've got to come back on ourselves just to turn around and then go back the other way, but that's the way it is.
And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If we can learn to work and play and get along with.
Stop number 3, Burton in Kendal. It opened in 1970 under the name Burton West. At the time of opening, inspectors described it as unimaginative and disappointing for some reason. Later on in 1978, a service station opposite was considered for the southbound carriageway. However, with so many service stations already in the area, planning permission was not given, so this remains just as a northbound service station only.
Right, number 3 of 8 for the day done. That's Burton in Kendal. We're going to head down from here. Well, we've got to go back up before we come down, but we're going to head down to Lancaster services, which I'm certainly quite excited to see, also known as Fortin services. And if you guys know your service stations, you'll probably know what the main exciting feature is there. But if you don't, stay tuned. You shall find out shortly. It's worth the wait, I think. Feeling a little bit smug because we found a little back entrance at Burton services, which is perfectly legit. You can use it. We're not going to get a ticket. It allows you to get out, and we're going to go a little bit cross country, pick up the A6, which will take us back round to the motorway. So it's going to save us going all the way back up, as I mentioned, just to come back on ourselves. Plus, it looks like there is a bit of traffic build up that way as well. So happy days. It's all coming together.
Right, everybody, stop number 4, Lancaster services, opened in 1965, although it was called Fortin services back then. It took until 1996 to change the name to Lancaster. The owner-operators at the time, Granada, decided to change the name. It is surely the most iconic service station, probably in the entire country, and that's down to the large tower that you can probably see behind me. It's called the Pennine Tower, and we'll probably just cut to some nice drone footage of that. Stands around 20 metres tall and can be seen from quite a distance. The reason the tower was built, other than to house some restaurants and other service station facilities, was because there was an advertising ban on service stations. The only way to get around that, to make your service station stand out and be visible from a distance, is to erect a massive tower, which is exactly what they did. So really it was about making the service station as visible as possible to make sure you knew it was there, but in a way without actually advertising anything per se. The tower sadly closed in 1989. We did of course ask for permission to go up the tower, or at least have a tour. As is always the way, health and safety is quoted as the reason. I'm sure if we had 500,000 subscribers, they may think a little bit differently. So guys, hit that subscribe button. Let's see if we can get ourselves up the tower and have a look around for everybody's enjoyment.
Right, that's Lancaster services done, 4 out of 8, so we are now halfway. We're going to rejoin the M6 southbound and pick up the M65 for our next stop, which is Blackburn with Darwen. Stupid name, but Blackburn with Darwen are coming up.
There's a weird statue thing on the roundabout. Welcome to Blackburn and Darwen services, operated by Extra. It's on the M65 and is the only signposted service station on the M65. It opened in 2002 and is rather awkwardly sandwiched in between, well, effectively an industrial estate and a housing estate. I guess there was previously some land here which they cleared and chucked on a service station. It is a little bit offset from the motorway, it's fair to say. So yeah, quite odd, but we will do the usual thing, have a look around. There's not really that much to see here. But how is everybody there? Are you enjoying the episode so far? Are you keeping up? Are you awake? It gets a little bit more interesting, I hope, later on.
Okay, service station number 5 done. We are back on the M65, heading towards the M6 for our next stop, which is going to be Charnock Richard. For some reason we're going there, and then we've got to pick up the M61 and M62, which means we'll end up coming back on ourselves again. If I haven't already, there would have been a map graphic showing the absolute bizarre route that we're doing today. Wonderful, we shall see you there.
We're at Charnock. Come along, Richard! Service station number 6, Charnock Richard, just off the M6. It's operated by Welcome Break and opened in 1963. In 1982, the Motorway's first Little Chef opened here on the pedestrian walkway bridge, so I look forward to, well, seeing the bridge. The Little Chef is long gone. That closed in around 1996. 10 years later, in 2006, the bridge had to be closed for a short while for fears that it was going to collapse onto the carriageway below, so they had to do a lot of restructuring work, which of course has now been completed and is fully open. Just across the way is the now very long gone and defunct Camelot theme park. We'll hopefully have a couple of shots of what might remain. We're going to take a punt on that, and I may edit this footage out altogether, or you might see it. We shall see. We did have a little look around the back, and you can indeed find some small remnants of the Camelot theme park that used to remain here. Right, that is Charnock Richard's services done. I found another artwork by Elaine Jones. We've actually found one of those before at a previous Welcome Break. I may have to look her up and see what the deal is there, since we don't find any David Fisher artwork anymore. If you keep your eyes open, you may find the old style Welcome Break logo on this sign, which is just on the southbound exit. We nearly missed it.
We're going to be cheeky and use the back entrance at Charnock Richard's services. Shut up, Satnav! Right, that was Charnock Richard's services. We have utilised the back entrance to get access to our next stop. Rather than cut all the way around the motorways, we're going to go a little bit cross-country just to save a bit of our journey time. Our next stop will be Rivington. Our next stop will be Rivington services.
Smarten myself up a little bit, I look like a tramp. Right, we have arrived at Rivington services just on the M61. It is operated by Euro garages, so I think the first and only Euro garages we've been to on this trip. It opened in 1971, and this is a little bit complicated, so bear with me whilst I also refer to my notes. It opened as Anderton Services originally, then changed to Rivington in 1992. Then the name changed again to Bolton West in 1996, and then back to Rivington in 2009. I presume that's when Eurogarages took over, but yes, Rivington Services is certainly what it is for now, but it's had a few names as the years have gone by. The entire site has been redone, the old petrol stations and buildings demolished. However, if you have a look on Street View on the northbound side, you'll find the old building still photographed there. It's long since gone now, and there's just a foundation where it used to be. Interestingly, the plan was to demolish that building and put a new building in its place. However, they didn't do that. They put the new buildings in a different place. There is a pedestrian walkway bridge. Naturally, I am elated, and we shall go over there and check that out, of course. And rumours are that there is an abandoned building on the southbound side. We love a bit of abandoned infrastructure and buildings on this channel, so if that turns out to be any good, you will see it in the edit. Well, here is the abandoned building that I mentioned. For legal purposes, we can all see that that is open, unlocked, absolute free access. So if we were to wander, we're not breaking in or doing anything wrong. Right, service stations does urban exploring. Old sign of the Esso Fuel, which used to be here. It's now BP. Also got the old Esso petrol pumps from, well, when it would have changed over. I don't think you've locked all the doors, chaps. Just found this document, and it gives us a date to roughly, well, date how long this has been here, but this is 2002. I have also found, although not visually interesting, what looks to be an old shop area, complete with tobacco shutter rollers. Nothing left, but understandable. And now my dodgy journey to get back to the correct side of things, if you will. I'm getting too old for this. Hold on. Bloody hell. Oh, there he is. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is us all done for Rivington services. Most interesting indeed, I thought. It's turning into a little bit of an urban explore episode, this one. We've had abandoned theme parks, abandoned whatever that is. So yes, we shall see you at our final stop. Keep walking. Beautiful, mate. Beautiful work.
Well, that was jolly fun, having a look around the abandoned building there. We picked up some lunch as well. We didn't find it around the back. We went inside and purchased it, obviously. So we have therefore finished Rivington services. We're going to pick up the M61 and go down to the M62, where our final stop for the day will be Birch services. So we shall see you there.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, our final stop for the day. Birch services on the M62, operated by Moto. It opened in 1972, and whilst there isn't really much to see here, there is certainly a lot for us to discuss. In 1975, an altercation between Leeds football fans and Chelsea football fans led to £3,000 worth of damages, which is a fair chunk of money, but certainly back then that was quite a substantial amount indeed. They met at the opposing sides of the service stations and then ended up on the Walkway Bridge, and you can only imagine what happened from there. We'll check the Walkway Bridge out. Probably won't wreck it in a football hooligan sort of way, but you never know. In 2003, after losing a large amount of money on one of the coin slot gambling machines here, a gentleman by the name Jason New purchased a lighter in the shop and set fire to the machine, which then ended up taking out the entire building. So that all had to be rebuilt. If you take photographs or do any filming, you may be able to relate. You know, when you walk all the way somewhere to take a film or a photograph, you turn the camera on and SD card full. Yeah, so I've just walked all the way over to the other side to grab some footage, just to find that my memory card was full, and I've had to walk all the way back to the car to get a spare. Bit of an amateur mistake, that one, but you know, it's the first time that we've done it this series, so that's okay. Coming up next, the footage that I went to get. There is a bridge at Birch Services, and if you're on the west side, which I've walked over to, but I'm now returning back to where we're parked, but this dodgy little side exit door is where the bridge comes out. On the other side, you exit right into the service station. Weird. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all of our service stations done for today. That takes our total up to 82 service stations now, leaving us 13 to go out of our 95 grand total. Thank you once again for coming along on this journey. I hope you found it interesting, informative, entertaining, delete as appropriate. We shall see you next time for episode 11, which I can't believe. It's almost the end of the series. Almost, not quite, so stick with us for a little bit more. Next episode we'll be going from Burton Wood Services, which is on the M62, probably not far from where we are now, to be honest with you, but we've got to break it up somehow, right? So until then, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining us. I do really appreciate it. Give the subscribe button a hit, give the like button a hit, but that would also be much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we shall see you next time for more auto shenanigans at all the motorway service stations. I just did an outro. You have to say goodbye.
Goodbye.